Good afternoon, I'm Sean Yao, and this is One News Now. President Bongbong Marcos says the mission of the Armed Forces of the Philippines has changed. Speaking before the Visayan Command in Cebu, Marcos Jr. said that this is amid the complex situation in the South China Sea and the intensified competition among the superpowers. The chief executive added that the AFP needs to adjust accordingly. He also described the tension in the disputed waters as the most complicated geopolitical situation in the world, even with the ongoing war in Ukraine. Still on President Marcos, one transport group is asking him to intervene as concerns mount over the PUV modernization program. Elaine Fulgencio with the details.
Waiting in long lines and rushing to catch a ride. These are just some of the daily challenges commuters face. But it could get worse by next week, with some transport groups planning to go on strike. The nationwide transport strike will begin March 6 and is expected to last for a week. This is in protest to the memorandum circular released by the LTFRB regarding the PUV modernization program.
President Bongbong Marcos, sinisingil na po namin kayo ngayon doon sa inyong ipinangako na hindi kami mapipaisan at magpapatuloy ang aming hanap buhay.
The LTFRB is giving jeepney and UV Express operators until June 30 to consolidate or join a cooperative. Those who are able to do so will be allowed to operate regardless if they own a traditional unit. However, some operators are still hesitant to join a cooperative.
Kasi pagka sa kooperatiba, kukunin nila yung franchise mo, yung ORCR mo, pangalan ng kooperatiba. Paano kung bumagsak ang kooperatiba? Nga na kami. 'Di ba? Wala na kaming babalikan.
The LTFRB has yet to comment on the planned transport strike, but the agency has since appealed to operators to process their consolidation so that they can have access to loans to modernize their units. The Transportation Department, on the other hand, has appealed to transport groups to reconsider going on strike.
Siguro dapat pag-isipan nating mabuti yung pag-stop ng operations. No? Dapat mag-usap-usap muna.
The agency says it will provide enough assistance to operators, but they must also do their part.
Yung phase-out, mangyayari yan doon sa mga areas na halos na-implementa yung modernization program. No? Pero doon sa mga areas na alam naman natin talagang mahirap kaagad kumuha ng mga bagong equipment, ay bibigyan natin ng pagkakataon yung mga operators na mag-join muna doon sa mga cooperatives na mag-consolidate.
The transport groups are now asking for a dialogue with President Bongbong Marcos over the modernization program. They said that until they are heard, they will continue to push back against the planned phased out. Reporting for News 5, Elaine Fulgencio, we are One News.
Transport Group Piston says it is ready to support the planned transportation strike next week. That is if the government will, quote, continue coercing small-time PUV operators to consolidate their individual franchises and ignore the growing calls for the suspension of the jeepney modernization program. Piston also said that mandating operators to consolidate deprives them of their rights and privileges as individual franchise holders. In other news, passengers at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport continue to complain about long immigration lines at counters. Passenger Fabi Carino said they were able to check in 3 hours ahead of a flight to Palau on Friday. But they were greeted by long queues at immigration, where only 3 officers were manning counters. The passenger was not allowed to board the plane after failing to get past immigration in time.
Kaya tayo nalilabel for being the worst airport. It's because of so many gaps that's happening right now. If you anticipate a lot of people during certain days, shouldn't there be a lot of people from BOI handling and making sure that there's not such a long wait for people? Especially so if you are a PWD or a senior citizen. Imagine the line.
We're gonna pause for a quick break, but One News Now will be back with more stories after that. Stay with us. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Moves to amend the 1987 Constitution are proceeding slowly but steadily at the House of Representatives. The latest development, a hybrid constitutional convention approved to initiate changes to the charter. Marian Enriquez with the details.
The House Committee on Constitutional Amendments has approved a measure implementing House Resolution Number 6, which calls for a constitutional convention to propose amendments to the 1987 Constitution. A total of 17 members voted in favor, while only 2 voted no. These are Senior Deputy Minority Leader Paul Daza and Gabriela Partiles Representative Arlene Brosas. Under the bill entitled the Constitutional Convention Act, a hybrid CONCON will be implemented, which means delegates are both appointed and elected. There will be a total of 304 delegates, 253 delegates of which will be elected by registered voters, each representing a congressional district, while the remaining 51 or 20% of the convention's membership will be appointed by the Senate President and House Speaker from different sectors such as the judiciary, academe, legal and medical profession, labor, business, urban poor, among others. The election will be held on October 30, coinciding with the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections. The estimated budget for this is at around 1.5 billion pesos. The committee would hold office for over 7 months from November 21 to June 30, 2024. Gabriela Partiles Representative Arlene Brosas strongly opposed the bill, especially its emoluments provision, where every delegate shall be entitled to receive 10,000 pesos per diem or per day of attendance in the convention. The government will also pay for the travel and lodging expenses.
Yung 10,000 na ibibigay sa kada araw, nalalahok sa delegado ng CONCON. Sabi namin kanina, halos minimum wage na ito ng isang manggagawa sa isang buwan. Ngayon nga, hindi natin maibigay yung 10,000 ayuda para sa ating mga mamamayan. Medyo mahirap-hirap po itong tanggapin ng mga tao na hindi mataas yung presyo ng mga bilihin at may krisis. Tapos meron tayong binabudget ngayon na ganito for the Constitutional Convention.
For later Representative Richard Gomez, shouldering the delegates' travel and accommodation expenses is too much. But Abang Lingkod Partiles Representative Caraps Paduano begs to differ.
Yung 10,000 mo back and forth, tamang-tama lang yun sa airplane.
Correct.
So, what can you do with the
Richard,
10,000?
10,000 sa plane fare lang, umubos na. Ano pagkain naman ng delegate dito sa Manila?
Since you are a delegate, you are understood to stay in a place near the convention center. We as representatives, our salary grade does not even cost at 10,000 a day. So I'm wondering how come delegates are given that much privilege.
Still, members voted to retain the original provision. The panel estimated an around 5 billion peso budget for the operation cost during the convention. This estimate will still have to go through the Committee on Appropriations. Once the delegates have agreed on provisions they see to revise, the convention is expected to submit its report to the President, COMELEC, and Congress within 30 days from completion of the consolidated amendments on or July 30, 2024. The amendments proposed by the convention should be ratified by a majority of the votes cast in a plebiscite, which will be held 60 to 90 days after the submission of the convention report. Senior Deputy Minority Leader Paul Daza suggested to hold the plebiscite in conjunction with the 2025 midterm elections to save funds, but Committee Chairman Rufus Rodriguez defended their target timeline.
It will take a long time and our people cannot wait, especially on the economic provisions. And so therefore, we believe that is the proper timing.
Meanwhile, one of the framers of the 1987 Constitution, Attorney Christian Monsod, has doubts that the proposals will see the light of the day in the upper chamber.
Hindi ako sigurado na lulusot sa Senado yun eh. But siguro sa House lulusot yun. Alam mo, kontrolado nila yun eh. Pero alam mo, magandang labanan eh sa public debate. Payagan yung mag-debate. Kami susipot kami doon, mag-debate tayo sa harap ng tao. Yung mga gusto ninyong revisions and amendment to the Constitution. And let the people decide. Hindi yung panay propaganda, ginagamit pa niyo yung pera ng bayan. Di ba?
The House measure will then be tackled at the plenary for the period of sponsorship and debate. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. Another oil price rollback takes effect today. Diesel prices are now cheaper by 1 peso and 30 centavos per liter, while gasoline prices are down by 70 centavos a liter. The price of kerosene is likewise lower by 1 peso and 80 centavos a liter. The Energy Department attributes the oil price rollback to China's lower oil imports and the United States' higher crude inventory. And PNP Chief Rodolfo Azurin Jr. says that the recent wave of attacks against government officials is just isolated. Azurin explained that suspects may have different motives which are now being determined by authorities. Lanao del Sur Governor Mamintal Alonto Adiong Jr., Apari Cagayan Vice Mayor Romel Alameda, and Datu Montawal Town Mayor Otto Montawal were all ambushed this month. Alameda did not survive. And heads up, Maynilad customers, the water concessionaire is fixing pipe leaks next week at the corner of Osmeña Highway and Zobel Rojas in Manila. What this means is that several barangays in the cities of Manila, Pasay, Parañaque, and Makati are expected to experience water service interruptions from March 5 to 7. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News Live anytime, anywhere. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.